Somebody told me about a week ago a fact that I should have known but didn't, which was they told me that Fusilier Lee Rigby actually came from Middleton. Now, I suppose as someone who was actually in the army myself, I thought that was something that had to be talked about today, or had to be mentioned, because that event, as much as it might seem like it was so irrelevant to what's happening right here, the fact is that it's all part of a single wider problem. For years and decades in this country, we have faced in every constituency, in every council, every authority, every region, a relentless assault on our own life as a people. And it's been done for no other reason than to serve the one thing in the world which, to the left, to the right, to all these parties has the same value, which to them is money. Everything related to this issue of migrant hotels, mass immigration, everything is part of a great money-making scam. Everything from those who make millions from owning these hotels, to those who make millions from providing for the people in them, to those who sit in places like the House of Lords, raking in the money behind closed doors. Now, when I was in London yesterday, I said something which I think had to be said. When we stood next to the House of Commons, and I said, the only place that this problem is ever going to be solved is in that building. And that is just as much true here in Middleton, in Manchester, as it is in Westminster. The only place in this country that the fraud and the corruption is ever going to be destroyed is in that building in Westminster. Now, for our people to take a political alternative and get it to that building, even if it seems like a short distance to walk, that is a process that will take 5, 10, 15 years of relentless work and labour. But the truth is that nothing in this world that is worthwhile is ever easy. It's not going to be an easy task to fix the problems blighting this country, whether it's immigration, whether it's the cost of living, whether it's inflation, whether it's unemployment. It is not going to be an easy task. But just because the task is difficult, it doesn't mean that the task is impossible. Because for some people in this world, to change their own future and to change their own destiny on that scale is an impossible task. But for British people, a task that is impossible for the rest of the world, to British people, such a task is merely slightly difficult. Because our people, over hundreds and thousands of years, have something about them which many other people in this world do not possess and will never possess. Our people in this land are connected to it in a way that others aren't. Our people can draw from this country itself a strength and determination that nobody else can bring to bear. And all these people, these globalists, internationalists, these thieves, who look at this country and everything it has and see in it only the value of the rape and plunder that they can organise, our people see something else. We can look inward. We don't have to look at money. We don't have to look at any foreign power to give us the change that we want, because everything that we need to accomplish that task we already have within ourselves. Only by understanding that our value as individual British people is linked to our value as a people itself, as one mass of people, only by doing that do we have any hope of overcoming this enemy. 100 people in 100 towns at 100 hotels fighting 100 enemies will only ever fight with the strength of a single man. But 100 people fighting one enemy in Westminster with the strength of 100 people to one will fight with the strength of not just 100 but 100,000. Our people must put aside these individual disagreements. We must create the alternative that we want to see. We must look beyond the globalist and the international parties, these men of the system, who are just at this point different types of cancer to choose from. The choice between a blade to the heart or a bullet to the brain. Every choice you make, Labour, Tories, Lib Dems, Reform, it's the same people. It's not the politics, it's the people. And every single one of them is a choice between a different kind of death. If we want to have any hope of building a political revolution, to building an alternative, it is going to have to be a fundamentally nationally minded alternative. And our people are going to have to create our own new nationalist party to deal with this problem. Only when it happens will they realise that they made the greatest mistake in history, that having roamed the earth in the service of money, these Westminster criminals, having seen what they could rape and pillage from every race and every nation everywhere, they will realise that they have once and for all made the greatest and last mistake that they will ever make, which was to turn to the British people and say, you will be the next victims, because on the other hand, the tables will turn and the victims will become the victor, and the terrorised and the terrorists will become the terrorised. And those people who have designed the annihilation of our people just to fill their own pockets will themselves face the greatest judgment that they have ever faced. And when that happens, they will be no more.